Well, I made a video on YouTube speaking about relationships, and boy, I must have stirred up the hornet's nest. And I do mean I stirred up the hornet's nest. I mean, 500 subscribers took off like that, and nobody could tell me what I said wrong. I think that's the society we live in today. I think people have their own reality of what truth is. Did you hear what I said? They have their own reality of what truth is. And if you give the truth, not based on their reality, you end up becoming enemies to them. I'm just going to tell you the truth. And I get it all the time. I get all kinds of messages. If I could just show you my messages, how much I get like a stack of messages I have to go through. And the majority of them, I'm going to say half of them, or some type of relationship counseling, because people don't want to pay the money to go to therapy out there in the world. So they figured, okay, I'll go to the pastor. And then you can feel the negative energy, and you can feel that spirit that stands up on the inside of them while they're talking. And then when you tell them, well, I can tell you what your problem is. You're up here trying to contend with me, and you came to me. You called me asking for advice. And if you're contending with me, calling me and asking me for advice, I can only imagine what you do when you have somebody that's standing in front of you. And you wonder why it's not working. Listen, let me tell you something. The majority of the women in America are broken. And men, you need to understand, you can't fix broke. I don't care how much you try. You cannot fix broke. They have to fix themselves. There has to be a change of mind. And if they're not willing to change their mind and get with your program as the head, then move on and find someone that is better. There always is somebody better, always. I had a woman the other day, well, I'm not going to tolerate his BS. I said, well, what have you calling tolerating BS? And believe me, I'm only hearing your side. I haven't heard his, and so I can't really take what you say verbatim, but I can tell you the way that you speak and your attitude and how sharp your tongue is, that man is probably better off without you. I mean, you're not humble. You're not submissive. At least in this phone conversation, I can tell that. You're not agreeable. Then I ask him this question. I always head around to this one right here. How tall are you? How much you weigh? Oh, and they get a little bit offended on that one. I don't know why do women get offended on that when you ask them how tall are they and how much they weigh. I don't understand. And then, of course, 95% of them, they give me an answer like, well, I'm 5'6", and I weigh 175 pounds. Whoa. Then I will say, sister, do you understand that you are bigger than a man? And of course, everybody is an 8 and a 9. I'm talking about on a scale of 1 to 10. There's very few women I talk to that say that they're a 5 or 6. Everybody is an 8 or 9. And I'm like, man, is there something wrong in this world? Am I delusional? Am I just set apart so much to the point that I can see really clear or something? I just don't get it. You know, the day that women understand their role and the day that men understand their role, it will be a better society. We would have stronger families. If the world could understand that when the Creator, Yahweh, Yahshua, HaMashiach, Jesus the Messiah, in the English vernacular, when they understand that this world was created to be a patriarch and not a matriarch, you have a starting point. This ain't like affirmative action. This thing has been around from the beginning of time, since time was there. Once you can understand that, comprehend that, families will be stronger. Values will be taught. Commandments will be kept rather than broken. Boundaries won't be crossed. There'll be mutual respect because everybody is in their proper role and in their proper place. Then the next thing I usually have to deal with more than anything is women who are 38, 39, 40 years old, been in multiple relationships. Very, very high mileage women. And some of them got 2 or 3 children by 3 or 4 baby daddies. Some of them got 4 children by 2 baby daddies. And some of them have done some things, man, I'm telling you. And then here it is right here. And they're waiting for a good man to come along and settle down. So I'll give them a scenario. I said, okay, so you do understand that you are not as valuable as a young woman that is a virgin, or you damn sure not as valuable as a young woman that is a virgin. And when I say young, I'm talking about in their early 20s, that hasn't been on the carousel, and has to use over 100,000 mile motor oil in the engine because the engine is getting worn down. I would say, stuff like this. I'll say, okay, all right. So, you want a man to come and take you on, cover you, and let me ask you this question. If your man is out working all day long, and he comes home, and you are a stay-at-home mom, because that's what the majority of them want to do, is be a stay-at-home mom, which most people don't understand what it really truly means to be a stay-at-home mom. Is one of the most hectic jobs that there is in America or in the world. One of the highest callings in the universe is mother, and most people are not good at it. But anyway, you can't be good at it as long as you're talking with your friends who have dysfunctional and toe-up relationships, and they're trying to teach you how to be dysfunctional and toe-up, or your family is dysfunctional and toe-up, and everybody's just dysfunctional and toe-up, and everybody's giving bad advice, and nobody's succeeding. So I said, so if your husband come home, he's tired. Okay? You follow me so far? Oh yeah. And of course, I'm assuming that the children are clean, the house is clean, the meals are cooked, and more than likely you probably have some bath water on the side ready for him. You're ready to accommodate him, you're ready to soothe him, console him, you're ready to sit down and listen to him, rather than him always listening to you. You're ready to listen to him. So he's carving out a living for you, and he's putting a roof over your head, clothes on your back, food in your mouth, shoes on your feet. And definitely you can tell that he's putting food in your mouth because you're definitely eating a lot of it. And I don't mean that as an insult. I mean that to motivate you. That's what I mean, because I care more than others who would rather just look at you and want you to continue to be deceived because they care more about your feelings than the reality of your health. But nevertheless, I say, so if he comes on, who you think should still tend and watch after the children? Well, I can tell you one thing. What he needs to do is he needs to come on in to help me with the children. I said, well, hold on, that's what you're supposed to be doing all day long. Is the house clean? Somewhat. That's a big problem because you're at home all day long. Well, I got a bunch of children. Well, he's got to get out there and fight the world. And the last thing he needs to do is come home and fight his wife after he's fighting the world. His home, quote unquote, castle is supposed to be a place of solstice, a place of relaxation, a place of peace. And if you ain't bringing that peace but nothing but chaos, no wonder the relationship is dysfunctional. Man, I feel like a counselor over here, you know what I mean? I feel like I literally should be getting paid for this stuff. I truly, truly do. But however, most people can't hear this because they have gone too far in environment where they were reared and raised, and it's very hard for them to mortify the deeds of the flesh and of the spirit because their mind has been shaped so much in such a way it's impossible for them through experiences, a bunch of negative experience, bad experience, and then of course they look at every man through those negative and bad experiences, especially because one thing that women don't understand and men don't understand women is that they're pretty much familiar with each other. Just because you see men having certain instances where they behave the same, that doesn't mean that that man is just like the other man. But the problem is you equate that man as an evil entity, and then you start viewing him like that. And then the same attitude problem that you had with that man that decided he's going to kick the traces and keep his peace because life is too short rather than go through all this hell. I mean, if you want some hell, he can go create his own hell. And vice versa. Well, I'm going to go. Well, go ahead and go on. You're going to do it anyway. I mean, you got the system. You got the court system. You got the whole world is on your side. Go get your victory. Let's see how that works for you. And you know who suffers more than anything at the end of all of these dysfunctional relationships is these precious children who deserve to have both father and mother together in one accord in the house so they can be raised in a loving, kind environment, but only one problem. You can't have a loving, kind environment, like I said before, when you got the woman trying to be the man, trying to dictate and mandate and tell the man what to do, how to do it. And mind you, he is the one who's taking care of you. See, when you left your father's house, you went to your husband, he became your head, your only head. Your daddy is not your head no more. I don't care how spiritually retarded people are out here today. Your husband is your head. He's the head of his house. And you are there to submit and obey. I know people don't like it. Maybe we start there. Maybe we'll start by building some strong families in this world. But nevertheless, I'm not going to hold my breath. I just told you the truth. And so maybe I'll lose another 500 subscribers. Join me on Patreon. Description below.